Who knows what's going to happen? A lot of earnings are going to be out this week. Big earning companies, so we'll see a lot on the plate there on fundamentals. When my market might actually move on fundamentals, be a surprise, but you never know. So let's see what the day brings. We are trading mini S&Ps here. We're going to give you our levels here, and the levels are just as a guide to help us get through the day. And then we have to make adjustments to everything as we go along. So let's give you our levels. Our pivot this morning is 41.76. 41.76. Resistance above at 82, 87. 94, 42 even. 42 even. Support below. We're getting up to new highs here again. Nice late rally on Friday helped that. Support below at 68, 62, 54, and 45. Pivot 76, support 68, 62, 54, 45. Resistance on the upside at 82, 87, 94, and 42 even. All right, market opens up here. Be a little bit careful. We're pushing up to these new all-time highs and kind of rejected whatever tax situation was deployed or thought of. The market absorbed that and said, okay, I guess it's all right because there's going to be more stimulus or something. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. So welcome to some of the new folks that are here. We are trading mini S&Ps. Mini S&Ps. They are a equity future. You can trade futures. This is where we're at. So exciting. Everybody can trade futures now. It's not, it used to be just you needed to have a membership on the exchange. Now everybody can trade. It's a beautiful thing. Also brings in a lot of volatility sometimes and a lot of risk. Let's not get carried away and think this is a riskless kind of trade here. It's not. What we're trying to do here is give you ideas of how to trade the market, futures market, give you some guiding posts to kind of look for, and then trade around them. These levels that we give out today are just a guide for the day, not necessarily etched in stone. We can adjust them. We can add to them, subtract from them. This is what we do here. We're just making sure, again, these levels are, this is futures trading, so anything could happen at any moment, but we're trying to find areas of inflection that create an opportunity for us to make some trades and make some money. You can get short a market, you can get long a market. It doesn't really matter as long as we get volatility and opportunity to trade. As far as traders are concerned, that's the most important thing. So welcome to some of the new folks that are here. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat box area. I know sometimes this can be, especially if you've never done this or seen this before, can be a little intimidating. And you might not understand the lingo that I'm using, which is totally fine. Just to ask for an explanation. And we can, get you through this. We have a trading room, which is what you're in right now, which we kind of talk about the trades and opportunities that occur given the levels that we give out, plus the price action opportunities that might occur. And then we have an education course, which allows you to figure out these levels on your own, to find price action opportunities independently of myself, and to create your own methodology, your own trading style, because what we've learned is that everybody here has different risk tolerances. Everybody trades differently. Not everybody trades the same. We accept that. I've been trading for a while, and I can tell you when I was standing around some great traders, and I could never do what they do, right? Because everybody's a little bit different, and some of them couldn't do what I do. So I understand that, accept it, and appreciate it. And when we work around our education, we work independently with each individual so that we can maximize your profit potential based on your risk tolerance. All right. So market kind of upticks here a little bit. Continuation rally here from overnight. And maybe going to retest that high from Friday. It broke it off really, really quickly Friday, late afternoon. And again, we focus more on the morning hours here. We feel that there's some good ebbs and flows in the morning versus the afternoon trade. The afternoon trade gets a little bit more skittish, more one way, and a little bit tougher to trade. As we quickly come up here to our entry point there against our 42 area, and we had a nice quick rotation there off of it. I think you should have gotten filled. I did, so hopefully you got filled too. And we're getting a nice little push off of it. I put mine in late, so I know you got filled. So hopefully everybody got filled, and we're going to get our little quick, nice, there you go. Nice, quick, no risk trade. That's how we like it around here. Phew. All right. Way to start off the morning on a Monday. If you want to try to stay short, if you're trading multiple contracts. Now you're going to ask me, how did we get short there against the 82 and it went up to 81.5? Well, there's different ways of entering your trade. If you got in there, you scale, we like to scale in around an area, right? So 82 is the level, but we're not going to be perfect. So some get in at 81, some get in at 82, some get in at 83. You scale in around the level, maybe 81.5. And maybe 82.5. It all depends on your risk tolerance and how you want to manage your trade. But we suggest scaling in. And if you only trade one lot, that's fine too. We make accommodations for how where you find your entry points for those situations as well. So it doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of understanding your risk tolerance and how you trade it. So if you scaled in around our 82 area, you should have been able to make a little bit of money here against it. Hopefully you were able to. And now we'll see what it wants to do. So we had a nice rotation against our 82. And again, if anybody has any questions, the chat box area is where you should ask them. We are trading mini S&Ps here. We're trying to take advantage of ebbs and flows of the market. And that's what we're trying to do here. We were short here against our resistance area there at 82, and so that's where we made our quick little profit as the market rotated off of the 82 area, quickly went down to 79 and change, 78 and change, and then popped back up. So we're looking to take scalp the market. And that's a classic example of scalping the market right there, where we get in, watch the market rotate and get out. Obviously, we have the stop too in case it runs us over. And so, but that's what we're doing here. We're trying to take opportunities to trade the market, scalp the market against support and resistance, right? So next level on the upside, we have resistance is up at 86.7. Sorry. That will go and confirm or go retest that spike high from Friday. So that's just in case, but it's still working as 82 here in case some of you have gotten in a little bit differently. If you did get in on the second rotation up, again, we would highly suggest that if you're going to trade with our levels, that you get them the first time up there. Subsequent rotations to the level, it becomes a little bit more risky. in the fact that they could probably rotate through that area. So we're looking for rotations against our levels, first time to them, and we try to explain the risk to you in case you want to trade the second or third rotation to them. Everybody, again, like I said earlier, everybody has different risk tolerances, so not everybody trades the same way, and I respect that. And so you have to find the risk tolerance that you have as an individual trader, and then maximize those profits around your trading technique, not mine or not anybody else's. That's a very important little aspect here, because this is what it is. This is trading. There's nothing here that's straightforward. Everything is, this is futures trading. So got to be ready for any kind of news that might occur. As you can tell, was it on Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. I guess there was some announcements about some tax increases, and the market kind of sold off very quickly, ran through levels very fast, and made it almost. I mean, I wasn't here, but it made it very tough to try to scalp it when it gets that way. Now we adjust our risks, and we adjust our stops accordingly when more volatility comes in the market. But again, you never know when fundamental news effects are going to be injected into the market. Consequently, that's why we're always having our stops in place to be able to counteract that surprise that we might get given when they do stuff like that we're not used to, or we don't know about. Stuff we know about, we can manage. Okay, so for instance, today there was durable goods fundamental news that came out at 7:30 before we opened up. It's 8:40 right now, so an hour ago. And so that was already into the market when we opened up, and maybe started a little rotation to the upside here. Also at 10:30, I've never seen this one before. This is how much the government needs to borrow. There is a 2-year note auction results for $60 billion at 10:30, and then at 12 there's a $61 billion 2-year note auction results. They have 2 auction results today for $60 billion. They didn't want to do it for 120, so they did 2 at 60. So that the government sells treasuries so that they can subsidize the government, so they can subsidize deficit, and they put it out to banks, and the banks bid on them, and they bid on as far as interest rates are concerned, and that might affect the interest rate market. Not so much usually the equity market, bond market more, but lately the bond market has been affecting us, so we have to be mindful of that. But that's going to happen later at 10:30 and 12 today. Two separate auctions if you're going to be trading at that point. So 10:30 and 12. Now we here focus more on the morning hours to give us opportunity to trade. We feel that the morning hours have good ebbs and flows, good rotations, give us good opportunity to trade the market, and consequently, that's what we are focusing on more than anything else, is some good opportunities to trade, and those good opportunities to trade are triggered around the morning hours versus the late afternoon hours, and so on. So that is kind of what we do here on an everyday basis, and we talk about what affects our market and what doesn't. All right. So, and again, this is just for information purposes. Obviously, trading is a trading room, and I share ideas with other traders. And you, obviously, if you're new here, you can ask me questions. And we have all levels of trading people in our room here. We've got beginners, intermediaries, and people who've been around for a while, and I welcome all of them because I like interaction of traders more than anything else. It keeps me focused in on the market. I used to, obviously some of I used to trade this on the trading floor when there were people yelling and screaming at each other. And I was one of those people, and I always compared it to controlled madness. If for somebody who's never seen people yelling and screaming at each other and actual business being conducted, it was controlled madness. Everybody mostly everybody on the floor who was trading knew what was happening and knew where the price was. But if somebody came to visit and they saw the craziness that was occurring, they was like, what's going on here? Why is everybody yelling and screaming? But yeah, so it was controlled madness more than anything else. That's how I describe it best. Yes, no, I did not. I'm not trading from a beach someplace. I'm trading. I used to trade on the floor. We used to have our this trading room situated or been broadcast from the floor, but because of COVID, they've closed the floor for obvious reasons, and so we are not on a beach someplace. But I guess you could do this as long as you get Wi-Fi these days. You could do anything. But no, I am not on a beach someplace. I live in Chicago, where our range of temperatures in Chicago today is going to be 37 to 77 Fahrenheit. Okay. That's the range of temperature. Right now it's 37. This afternoon it's supposed to get up to 77. So if you think this is a perfect example of living in Chicago, you just never know. You wake up on a wintry morning and you end the day in a hot, blistering, well, not blistering, but a nice summer afternoon. That's what happens in Chicago. So you got to dress accordingly. You wear nice warm socks in the morning and keep your flip-flops for the afternoon, because that's what you need. Yeah, well, that's true. I guess I could have furry flip-flops and then take the fur off of them for the afternoon. Only the people in California would suggest something like that, but thanks a lot for suggesting that. Welcome, Christine. I saw your questions. I hope they were answered. If you have any other questions, we like new traders because they're not infected, if that's the right word, with like crazy ideas to trade. We kind of give you a methodology here that is great for newer traders who don't have old stuff to bury their heads in. And old stuff could be bad. But anyway, so we had a little short there against our 82 level. And now we're just kind of hanging here. Again, we like to have about 4 to 5 trades in the course of a day. Morning hours. You could trade more, but if we can be profitable with a good chunk of those, maybe make money on all of them. We want maybe 2 of them in a row and 3 of them. We don't have to trade much. I mean, you could make a decent chunk of change every day as long as we're consistent, which is what we try to do here. And we keep the risk relatively low because 2 points is a small amount of risk to take on a stop. So we have a motto here to make sure you always come back tomorrow. That's the key to trading, because we're always going to have a bad day. That's not going to change, and it happens every day and every trader has a bad day. It's just impossible. Not impossible, but it's it's tough to when you're taking chances out there and you're putting your trades on the line there. Sometimes it's just not going to work out, which is fine. We understand that, but overall, you should be able to be okay. Can we repeat the levels in the chat box area, please? Robert came in a little late, but not too bad for you, Robert. Did you sell your apartment there? Usually you're late when we switch your switch time. Well, you should come to America because real estate's selling off. You can't even keep anything on the shelf for more than 24 hours. It's a beautiful apartment, by the way. I saw your pictures that you sent me. All right. Earnings season will kick into high gear this afternoon as Tesla reports first quarter results. The EV automaker has already has seen record sales in the first quarter, delivering nearly 185,000 vehicles. But it still needs to convince investors that it could hold on to lead an increasingly crowded playing field. The stock is flat year to date after jumping 700% in 2020. I think you can take a breather for a couple of years after going 700% in 2020. I mean, just saying. As more and more companies, all these car companies are definitely, you're seeing more and more ads for electric EV cars, electric vehicle cars. Some of them look really cool. I have to admit that Tesla's got a really cool looking car if you've ever driven one. But I'm sure the rest of them are going to come out. Well, I mean, they're making, predictions. Some of them are making goals that everything's going to be electric in about 5 years. The truck is really supposed to be, it's really cool. And the truck also is supposed to be autopilot, which again, that's kind of, that's the only bad thing about it, because I mean, you do need truck. I mean, think about the industry that you're killing. Just like, traders here, we traded on the floor, and then when when we went electronically, it killed a lot of traders because they only knew one way to trade, right? And trading electronically is totally different than trading on the floor. So yeah, it does open up the door to God knows how many people out there, and that's for sure. But you need Rodney. Just how you doing? If you need to ask me a question, just put it in the chat box area, and I'll be able to see it. So please ask me a question if you want. Just in the chat, just write in the chat box area. Can we repost the levels again? So yeah, the only problem, it's not a problem. It's just it opens up the door to a lot of newbies to come into trading. And the only situation that I see is that most people don't know what's going on, when they're trading. And, they see these numbers are flicking around, but they don't know when, how, when, what to do, right? So, all right, Derek, go ahead, ask your questions. I'm here. I got a billion questions. I might answer a million. I don't know about a billion. A billion might take me a little bit too long, but I'll answer questions. No problem. All right, we're getting a nice little rotation here off of our 82 resistance area there, and kind of coming out of nowhere. Just a little move here. And coming back here down to our pivot. Next, so a good support level we have, our next good support level we have is down at the 68 area. For those of you who come in a little late, if you look at the chat box area, we have our levels that we're going to use as a guide for the day. Those are levels that we kind of can add to, subtract from. Is just a guide to our day as to what we're going to do when levels are when the market gets to levels, and then we trade around them. How do you stay short? How do you get into some trades? What trades are we looking for? Those are all explained in our education course for some of the folks that are new here and you want to learn some of the stuff. We had a nice rotation here against our pivot, first rotation to it, and a nice quick pop back up here if you are so inclined. Everybody trades differently and looks for different kinds of trades. We show and explain many different trades for individuals. And that is what we are doing here. We're trying to find, you have to find a trade that you can relate to, understand, you can find, you can execute. What account size for new trader? 5, 10,000. What software to use on computer? Well, account size, again, all depends on what your goals are, but I would say minimally for a new trader who wants to learn a little bit, I think you definitely need about, just to be fair to yourself and give yourself a fair chance, I think 5,000 minimum. And then you also need to make sure that, and I've said this to some people who have asked me that question before, you also make sure that your bills are being paid, that the money that you're going to invest in trading isn't going to be making you or losing your money at the beginning, because that's going to take a little bit of time to learn. And then of course you should pay for education, obviously. That's what you should also be doing, is paying for education, because I think, it's like if I give you a scalpel and I put you in an operating room, I go ahead, knock your socks off. What will you do, right? I mean, that's the analogy I have for new traders, is like, it's easy to see stocks, and if they correlate futures trading to stocks and stuff like that, but it's really kind of not. So you should spend some money on education too. So we had a nice rotation there off of our 76. For those of you who traded our first rotation back to our pivot, again, one of our trades that we like to use. I kind of hinted about it just a second ago. It was a nice little opportunity there for you to get in. If you did, you had a nice rotation back off of it. So that was a little bit of a buying opportunity there. Again, we have levels that we give out, plus price action opportunities. We talk about everything is taught here. Anything I say as far as a trade is concerned is taught. And you understand what we try to explain to you, why it's happening, and how you trade around it, what you're looking for. So all these concepts and ideas are just not just me talking and not really understanding, people not getting it, or me telling you about a trade after the fact. I know there's a lot of traders who took that trade right there, and I did for one, or maybe for two. I don't know, but anyway. So yeah, those are the trades that we are looking for, and again, we get them because markets move, right? 10 minutes ago, the market wasn't moving. Yeah, you love the blue band, and the pivot. Pivot's not a bad play either, I have to admit. Pivot players, blue band pairs are all right there. So yeah. Anyway, the point is that we need market volatility, right? I mean, when we were stagnant up there and the market wasn't moving, it's kind of hard to get any trades going. But once we got a little bit of opportunity there, we had the market to kind of give us an opportunity to trade. Oh, wow, Rodney, you're asking me a loaded question there. I want the skill of trading rather than getting an MBA. Cost of trading education cheaper than an MBA. Whew, that's a loaded question there. That is a really tough question for me to answer. I can't. Everybody's got. It's hard to. Let me explain it to you this way. I can explain, or I can tell something to somebody. I can tell 100 people, what the trade is, and 33% of them, or 33 traders, will make money on the trade. 33 traders will lose money on the trade, and 33 traders will scratch the trade. Scratch means you don't you don't make money on it. You just kind of break even on it, right? And I said the same thing, and everybody takes it a little bit differently. And so, and I'm just being honest with you. I can't, I can't. I can tell you that right now from the group that we have, that if I say something, and I know some traders will take the trade, some traders won't, some traders will lose money. I don't know. It all depends on how you get in and how you get out. And that's all dependent on you. And so there's not one recipe here that says, hey, I'm going to show you something and you're going to become a perfect trader. Columbia, that's a good school for business. That'll cost you a good chunk of change. But I mean, I definitely think that you could learn how to trade. Like, we focus more on the morning hours, and then invest a little bit of money into that if you want to try to see if this is the place for you to do. I wouldn't stop your day job until you can feel confident in yourself and making a living trading. But it's really tough, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I can explain this stuff to people, and it all depends on how you accept it, how you understand it, and how you relate it to your risk tolerances, and how other people relate it to their risk tolerances. So I'm giving you an honest answer. How many contracts do you trade? And again, that doesn't, I used to, when I was trading on the floor, I would trade, I don't know, on average, maybe 1,000 contracts a day. But I don't do that anymore. It's not what I'm here. I don't need to do that anymore. When I was younger, I took my risk, and I was trading on the floor. It's a totally different concept, by the way. But I would probably trade around 1,000 contracts in a day. One of my biggest trading days that I had, of course, it wasn't a good day, but I traded like 3,500 contracts. One of my biggest bond contracts. Those are bond contracts when I was trading on the floor. It was a lot for a few hours. I was drained that day afterwards. Your mind is, you get drained after trading that much for a while. Yeah, it was. And now that I've rotated here to electronically, I pick my spots more. I'm waiting for the opportunities to trade. For me, it doesn't really matter what I do. It's more important what you do. I scale in about 4 to 5 contracts, maybe 10, depending on the situation and if we're moving around a little bit. But I don't trade as much as I used to. But I'm still trading because I'm still at risk, because I need to know. If I tell you to do something, I'll know when it's not good, and I'll know when it's good. So, but yeah, I just so I don't really trade as like I used to. That's for sure. But I can still trade here. Probably if I'm trading all day here, I can probably still trade about 500 contracts if I really had to. Have I done it before? Yes, I have done it before. I'm not saying this because I've never done it before. How long do you recommend paper trading? Well, as soon as you can create enough, if you understand the concepts that you're being taught, or if you think that you're being taught something, and you know how to enter a trade, you know how to get out of a trade, you know how to set your stops. I mean, paper trading is one thing, and then actually, getting a platform and throwing your body and soul into it, that's another thing. So I think paper trading is great. I never lose money paper trading, right? Just don't. So I don't highly recommend it. I think as soon as you find some kind of methodology that you understand and you feel that you have a good concept of, then you should simulate trade for sure versus paper trade. And then, you get comfortable in that probably, then I would probably try to, put some skin in the bone, get in there, see what happens. I can't, that again is another question that all depends on the individual. You're asking me tough questions here because, everybody's different. They used to say when I started trading, that if you started trading and if you're probably not going to make any money for 6 months, probably lose money for 6 months, and then once that happens, probably won't make any money for a year, right? So when I started trading, I started making money in 3 months, and was able to go from there. So again, everybody's, the average versus each individual, totally different. Yeah, it's a tough question, but you ask me tough questions there, Rodney. But it's hard because I can't answer them as give you a flat yes or no or when, because that depends on individual traders. All right, I'll be back in just 1 minute here. Resistance up here is at 87.
Hey, a quick shout out and programming notes. We start here every day at 9 a.m. Sol steps in pretty close to the cash open and gives out his levels. If you've missed his levels, ask for a repeat. I just posted the opportunity to get a deal based on Sol's monthly. This is a subscription service. Usually it's $379 a month. Right now it's on for $100 a month based on his friends and family program, friends and family discount. So I just posted it in the chat area. Hey, Dale, welcome back. Dale, if you missed the levels, just ask for a repeat. And I think you're due for Sol's friends and family level. Just let me know when you get it done so I can authorize you to go forward. If you do get the $100 a month rate, it's yours to keep. In other words, it rolls over at $100. It doesn't reset to the $379. So you know who you are that have been in for a little bit. Just make sure you roll over to the friends and family. Okay, Dale, that's out to you directly. Just look for it in the chat area. ASAL, I'll send it out to you. Hey, Carlo, I saw you sneak in there. Welcome. Hey, Eric, you part of Sol's friends and family? Hey, Fred, Frank. Hey, James, I'll send it out to you directly. Now, remember, this is not coming by email. This is in the chat. This is the only link that gives you the discount. Kevin, I'll send it out to you. Marika, I'll send it out to you. Hey, Kurt. Nicholas, I'll send it to you. Remember, it's really just a courtesy. Christine, I'm not sure if I sent it out to you. Let me send it out to you now. I might have missed you. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Use the chat feature. Once you become part of Friends and Family, we can help you with setup with charting, with broker, order entry. Just make sure you sign up for Friends and Family first. And if you like what we're doing here, tell your friends. I'll be in the background if you need me, so I'll just step out. I'll be back shortly. I've had a great morning so far, so appreciate you all being here.
All right, we're back. We shall see what's going to happen here. All right. So market's continuing to rally a little bit. Again, gonna maybe go retest that spike high. Nice bounce off of our pivot there. Well, I'm just, I mean, I can see that, Don. I'm just doing the rotation back to that spike high, but I can obviously see the 89 area too. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes there. I was going to do 88, to be honest with you, but yeah, I was going to say I was going to do 88, and then I just decided to let her go recheck, and we can always scale in at 88 also. Well, the E-mini, I think, or the S&P mini, yeah. I think the S&P the equity contract is better than the Forex, and the Forex is more. And I'm biased here because I just don't think the Forex is a good trade. To be honest with you, I mean it does move around, and that's why a lot of people like it. Just so does the mini S&Ps. So it's not like you're really giving up much. But I think the Forex is more controlled by banks and governments because they're going to get when that market moves, it's going to be more controlled by them more than anybody else. So here, at least you have, there's earnings to look at. We can understand some of the reasons why our market moves. We don't quite always understand why the Forex market moves because there's underlying concepts and ideas, different fundamentals that create, their movement. So that is, we can somewhat understand why equities trade when they trade normally, and I put that in quotes. But to try to understand why the Forex trades, you need to be like a rocket scientist. You can never understand why they're trading. But anyway, yeah, I mean, that's the only reason that I would think about doing one over the other. All right, we're coming up here slowly. Again, you can just tell by my discussion that I got a resistance area up here between 87 and 89. And so this is how you have to kind of be a little bit careful here, scaling around this area. It's not, like I said before, nothing here is etched in stone. We make additions, subtractions, we add to them, and we talk about it with other good traders and like I said, I was mentioning somebody was telling me they wanted to take 89. I said I was going to do 88. I stuck to 87 for a reason. But you can tell we're up here in this area. There's a little resistance, at least for a time being. All right, so let's so by the numbers, Wall Street expects growth for Tesla, impressive growth. A non-GAAP earnings per share would soar 208% year to year to $77. Its revenue forecasts are optimistic, with consensus estimating standing at $10.3 billion. So there's the numbers that you're going to be expecting from Tesla. That went up 700% last year. U.S. stock futures are mixed, with a little changed overnight. So the Dow up a little bit, and it's up a little bit more as we slowly come up here to our 87 area. The move comes ahead of the busiest week of earnings season and follow the first weekly loss in 5 on Wall Street. Analysts say high valuations has kept traders' enthusiasm in check, but indexes are within 1% of their all-time highs, and not even that anymore. About a third of S&P 500s are set to update investors over the next 5 sessions. Tesla will kick off the action this afternoon, while big tech will headline the rest of the week. Results from Amazon, Google, Apple, and Microsoft. Investors will also be gauging economic reopening plays such as Boeing, Caterpillar, and Ford, which are expected to detail price pressures from rising materials and transportation costs. Corporations have been putting up some nice numbers thus far. About a quarter of the S&P 500s have already published first quarter earnings, 84% reporting positive per share earnings. Surprises, and 77% top revenue estimates. If 84% in the final percentage, it will tie the mark for the highest percentage of S&P 500 companies reporting EPS beats since FactSet began tracking data in 2008. That's interesting. Biden is due to release the America Families Plan this week that would double the capital gains tax for the ultra wealthy. The Fed also meets Tuesday and Wednesday. Oh, great. They're going to have a F day on Wednesday, and is expected to defend its policy of letting inflation run hot. At their press conference following that announcement, Powell is likely to assure markets that the pickup in prices is only temporary before the March personal consumption expectation index, one measure of inflation, comes out on Friday. That's so nice of them. So F Day on Wednesday. F Day stands for Fed, in addition to other things that F Days could F you with. So we will just stick to Fed is an F Day. Anytime we have Fed releases, we are not happy. We don't want to be trading when Fed releases are being released. They create a lot of... I could have bought a big yacht with the money I've traded on F days that I've lost on these days. A big yacht, not even a small one. Maybe with a crew, so that I don't have to do anything. Just gonna watch them work. That's how much F days have cost me. I just hate them. So I try to take my personal experience and kind of throw them onto you and say, don't trade F days, because you could get... Yes. Okay. It's just my personal thing. A lot of people love it. I hated it. And I always knew it was coming. I always was prepared for it, and I always lost money on it. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. I still can't, facilitate that one. And the other time I always lost money on, this is a certainty, was on my birthday. Every time I traded on my birthday, I lost money. I don't know how that happened, but it was it's weird. F days of my birthdays are not days that I should be trading. Don't ask me why. Can't even relate to that. I can't even give you an explanation. All right, well, we got up to 5 and change here. 85.50. Now it's breaking. Why couldn't you go up another point? That's annoying. Okay. All right, so make a little bit of an adjustment there against our 87. Maybe take the upper end of the range there for obvious reasons. If you are, trading up here, just as if you're less risk averse. Nice rotation here off of we got 85. Couldn't even get up to 86 for some of us. Annoying. Could we post the levels again for us? There they are. Thanks a lot. India continues to report a record number of fresh COVID-19 cases and deaths daily as the country struggles to contain a devastating coronavirus outbreak. On Monday, the governor reported 353 new daily infections, the fifth consecutive day that the country set a record. The nation also saw 2,800 COVID-related fatalities, and bringing the total to 195,000. Just as India sent assistance to the United States as our hospitals were strained early in the pandemic, we are determined to help India in its time of need. President Biden tweeted that the United States is considering sending some doses of AstraZeneca vaccine, which is not yet approved in the United States, as well as funding to a substantial expansion in manufacturing capabilities to enable India's vaccine maker, Biologic E, produced at least 1 billion doses by the end of 2022. Raw materials will also be sent for therapeutics, rapid diagnostic tests, and ventilators and protective equipment. Yeah, they are getting pummeled over there. While the Indian government is moving to vaccinate people as quickly as possible, the size of the population makes the task daunting. India is in talks with Pfizer to deploy its vaccine, while Johnson & Johnson's single-shot vaccine is expected to be imported by July of 2021. Geez. A vaccine from Ocugen, partners called Covaxin, has meanwhile shown efficacy against the new variant behind India's second wave. Well, good. Let them get this thing going. Yeah, it's terrible what's going on over there. It fixed up quickly. All right, we are just kind of, so be a little bit careful there against our 87. If you're aggressive there, maybe adjust it just a little bit. The CDC is advising pregnant women to get the COVID-19 vaccine after preliminary data from the biggest study on a demographic showed that the Pfizer and Moderna jabs are safe for expectant mothers and their babies. Pregnant women are more likely to be hospitalized and run a higher risk of death when infected with COVID-19, making vaccination especially important among the population. No safety concerns were observed for people vaccinated in the third trimester or the safety concerns for their babies, said the CDC director. As such, CDC recommends pregnant people receive the vaccine, the COVID-19 vaccines. The preliminary findings do not show, obviously, safety signals among pregnant persons who received the Moderna vaccine. However, more longitude follow-up, including follow-up from larger number of women vaccinated early in pregnancy, is necessary to inform maternal and pregnancy and infant outcomes. That's good to know, I guess. All right, we're coming back up here again. We kind of just drifted down to 79 and change. I would have liked 78. Of course, I'm missing it by my entry points by just that much. The upside here, be a little bit careful if you're going to trade the 87 now, just because of the way it's stopped here at 5.5. Maybe extend your stops a little, extend your entry points just a little bit. Again, all depends on how much risk you want to take and how you enter your trades, how you scale into them. with another $4.5 billion invested in 77 space companies in the first quarter, there has been $187 billion of equity investment into 1,480 unique companies in space economy over the past 10 years. That's because they're talking about the space shuttle and how they hooked up with, they've given the private sector the ability to send people up to the space station. 1,480 unique companies. That's a lot of companies for space. I guess maybe not that many, but they sure are investing a lot of money in it. That's for sure. All right. Well, that's the long and short of the little business activity news that's out there that I got. Now we are just going to be kind of hanging out here. All right, we've come into the kind of quiet moments or time right now. So again, we can't be busy all the time here. We're always dependent on market volatility. So that's sometimes when it gets like this, it gets a little slow. We don't do anything. And we can't do everything all the time. That's the thing, right? We are always, like I said, dependent on the volatility and price action. Yeah. So, from a risk management perspective, you have set limits on daily losses. Again, that is an individualized thing, right? I would probably venture to say it'll be a percentage of your some percentage of your total amount in your trading account. I would say anywhere between 1% and 2% is probably a good trading limit. Again, that's not always. And nothing here is etched in stone, right? Let's say you have a $5,000 account. 1%. Well, no, that doesn't make any sense. $50. Take that back. That doesn't make any sense. Scratch that. I would say $500 for for a $5,000 account. I guess. I mean, you have to give yourself a chance here, right? Um, that'd be about 2.5 trades for 2 trades, 3 trades losses. So All right, as you can tell here, we've come to a little bit of a quiet moment. Which is, that's okay. It happens. We cannot, get too upset or nothing. We just have to be patient and wait for the opportunities. That's all we can do. And again, we are obviously dependent on price volatility and action. And, that's what we are dependent on. And when there's not that much opportunity, we have to just stay focused and wait for the opportunities to present themselves. That's what we can do here. It's the only thing we can do. If you're out there and going to try to force it or push something or try to make something happen, that's when we get ourselves in trouble. You overtrade, you trade, and things just don't go your way when you're pushing it a little bit. So best thing to do is just be patient and wait for the opportunities to present themselves. All right. As you can tell, they've pulled a plug here a little bit on us, which is fine. I mean, that's why we say that we have to wait for the opportunities, and then the market kind of just kind of died down here a little, which is fine. Be careful there on the 87 area. It looks like a little bit of a riskier trade than it was. If we made it up to 86 even, we could have maybe said cancel it altogether, but maybe take the upper end of the range there as far as your entry point there. Again, like I said earlier, we are definitely dependent on price action and volatility. And when this happens, we just have to wait till we get some opportunity to trade. Downside support right now would be right around here if you're looking for a trade. Uh, Otherwise, the next good support level would probably be around our pivot. Again, all depends on how much risk somebody wants to take. Again, that depends. I would probably say that I would probably scale out too. If I'm scaling in, I'm also scaling out. Yeah, if you're trading multiple contracts, you do have an average, so you have to know. Let's say you have to know where your average is, and then you have to make sure that you scale out around your average. Of what your contract and what your point limits are. So, and if you're not used to it, let's say your average is 80 and you bottom and your stop is 3 points. So if you scaled in at 80, 81, 80, and 79, you have to know that around 77, you have to start getting out of them. So if you can manage that, then that's fine. All right, we said that we had a little bit of a buy there, right around the 80 area there. It was just a little bit ago that if you did maybe buy them, you had a nice little rotation. There was a reason why we wanted to buy them there. If you did participate there, you got a nice little rotation here. So again, it's a matter of waiting for the opportunity to present itself. and then taking advantage of it when it does. And this was it took a little bit of time here, but we had to be a little bit patient. And there was a reason to buy them. And if you did, then you did okay. And now, again, if you were a little aggressive, we said this is a little area there that you wanted to buy them there. So I think if we get above 84, 83 and a half, 84, we might rotate higher. All right, so we got a nice little buying opportunity there against the 80 area. I suggested it when it was down there. If you did get in, you're doing good with it. Again, we are looking for ebbs and flows of the market, trying to take advantage of price action opportunities. All right, well, they're just kind of hanging out here in this little area. Again, waiting for the opportunities there. Next downside support right now, if we were looking for a little support area, would be around the 76 hour pivot. But the better support would be all the way down to our 68 area. That would be our next good level of support. I mean, there's different strength of support, right? Some are a little bit stronger than others based on the price action. So just telling you just to be careful. I'm just giving you, again, anything that I say is also explained in our education course. So you would know, why it would be a little bit stronger, why it wouldn't be, so on and so forth. So All right, we're a little range bound here, unfortunately. We've been in this little range here for the last half hour, 45 minutes. But, again, it's a matter of being patient. And sometimes we're going to be very busy. We were busy right off the morning. We got a nice little quick opportunity there against our 82 area. And now we're just kind of fluttering around. We had a little buy against our 76 when it rotated back off of the 82. And then we just had a little buy here at the 80 area. And now we're just kind of flat and kind of really the market could go either way from here. It could rotate up, push to new highs, or we could drift a little bit lower, or we could just do nothing. Who knows? We are not here to try to predict where the market's going. We're just here to try to take the opportunities when market presents itself to us. When you start trying to figure out what the market's doing, let me know, because I don't know. I'm just here to trade. Again, if anybody has any questions, it's a good time to ask. Market's kind of slowed down here a little bit. We've gotten range bound. We're sidewinding. So good time to ask questions. As again, we also focus more on the morning hours to give us our opportunities. As you can tell, the afternoon hours, especially earnings season, especially since we have some big companies going to be releasing their earnings this week. We could, and they usually do it at the end of the day or as soon as the market closes. So, they could trade and then see what happens, and then trade morning, and then wait for the next opportunity to trade after that. So it's one of the things where the morning does give us good opportunities to trade. And don't forget, on Wednesday, the FOMC. They're going to come out with their results as far as interest rates are concerned and what their perspective is going to be going forward. And then they have their Q&A section afterwards, after the release. So that whole moment there of Fed is something we'd like to stay away from anyway. All right, the market again, it's straddling our blue band there, holding, staying a little bit bullish there as long as it stays above it. All right, seems like we're pushing ahead a little bit here. Again, trying to keep you a little bit long here based on what is going on. There's a reason it's holding levels. So again, 2-point stops would probably be good on these price action opportunity trades. All right, market trying very hard. I mean, we're still range bound, but trying to uptick again. We should think of the 87 is a little bit trickier now. Maybe do 88 or an 89 area just as a result of the price action. And again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Was there any special time 10:10? Uh, hmm. I want to say that at 10:20 or 10:30, the Fed always had some kind of involvement in the market where they participated in the market. And so maybe you got a little bit of something. Um, but I can't say that it was at any particular at 10:10 there was a reason to do something or not. The real question is, was I around at 10:10? That's the real question. All right. Well, we went up there and retest this little high here. Knock them off here a little bit. As we continue just to sidewind here a little bit, be a little bit careful there. If we get below, if we get below 78, we could go, 76 is our pivot, so not much there. If we get below the 76, we'll go retest we'll get to our first level of support there at 68. That's where I would look for a little bit of support if we get below the 76 area. And upside, like I said, you have to make a little bit of an adjustment here to the upside resistance. Maybe look at 88 or 89. And we'll see what happens. Again, it's kind of tough to get excited about the trade when there's not much trade, but we have to be patient. So as long as we understand that and are patient and we wait for the opportunities, Yeah, well, it's just something that I'm used to versus other people who do like the red and green candles. I just not really into that, but whatever one person is good with, that's fine. Everybody's like I keep saying, everybody's different here. Nobody's the same, and it's whatever you're comfortable using. That's all. So as long as we have make money, it doesn't really matter how you get there. That's my motto.
A couple quick programming notes. If anybody has any questions about Sol services, don't hesitate to ask. If you're looking for the special friends and family, make sure you raise your hand and I'll send it out to you. Hey, Nicholas, Marika. Hey, Anupam, did you get today's levels? So let me know back in chat. I can read them off to you or have them posted. Hey, Mark, I'm not sure if you're around. If you can you just post the levels again or I'll read them out. You're so good. Thanks, Mark.